Is there a single root cause to all anxiety? And does discovering and understanding it help us get back in control? Let's find out. Welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time, I'm Tim Box, mind coach, anxiety therapist, and author of the book Clear Your Head. For more than a decade now, I've been working one-to-one with clients to help them overcome all sorts of anxiety-related issues. And clients will often ask if we can find out the root cause of the issue. And whilst it's not always necessary to do this in order to get past it, it can be both interesting and enlightening to understand where all this high anxiety came from, as it can shape our journey forward and help us no longer feel vulnerable to it in the future. I actually had a couple of interesting comments on my videos recently on this very topic. Two separate people claimed that there was a single common root cause of anxiety that is the same for everyone. One said all anxiety comes from the suppression of anger about childhood abuse, while the other suggested that it's all about paranoia caused by low self-esteem. And I find it fascinating how often people try to claim that anxiety has a single universal origin. What's really happening here is that people project their own experience of anxiety onto others. They assume because their anxiety stems from a particular event or emotion, it must be the same for everyone. But in my experience, that's just not the case. During the thousands of client sessions I've conducted, there have been many different origin stories for anxiety, probably as many in fact as there are people suffering from it. Anxiety isn't a one-size-fits-all problem. It's personal. It's shaped by our individual experiences, thoughts, and learnings. But if you were to push me to isolate a single cause, something more fundamental that could apply to all of us, then I think I'd probably encourage us to take it back to basic principles. Our mind adopts emotional strategies to navigate our way through life. For instance, if our mind perceives danger, it will trigger the emotion of fear. We'll feel that visceral discomfort, and that feeling will encourage us to move away from the danger to once again return to comfort. If we've been wronged, our mind might fire up anger as a countermeasure emotional strategy. The result will be we'll feel inspired to take action to right the wrong. All these emotions serve a purpose. They're strategies our brain uses to protect us from harm and ultimately guide us towards happiness. Why happiness? Well, because everything we do is in some way about seeking the most happiness we can get. Now, I know at this point some people will be suggesting that our mind is primarily concerned with safety, not happiness. But safety is only such a priority because it's a key component element of happiness. We can't feel happy if we don't feel safe. But when we break things down, all of our emotions are in service of one thing: achieving happiness. So if all emotions are serving the journey towards happiness, then where does anxiety fit into this framework? Anxiety is a marker for importance. Anxiety is the emotion our mind utilizes to focus us on whatever is deemed to be the most important thing right now. It's a signal that something needs our attention. That's why anxiety often feels so urgent. It's the mind's way of saying, hey, this matters, look here. It's worth saying here that whilst anxiety is often confused for fear, it isn't the same thing. Fear happens when our safety is immediately at risk. It triggers visceral sensations like the rush of adrenaline in fight or flight mode. We feel it in our bodies. Anxiety, on the other hand, isn't about threat, it's about importance. Anxiety is less about a risk to our safety and more a risk to our happiness. This is why it often revolves around long-term uncertainty rather than immediate physical danger. For instance, someone might know intellectually that a panic attack won't kill them, but they worry about living in fear of the next one. That fear of living with constant anxiety threatens their long-term happiness, causing the very thing they fear, heightened anxiety. Put simply, the cause or origin of all our anxiety is importance. This is why we're always saying anxiety will be an emotion we feel pretty much every day, because we all have important stuff to think about every day. In fact, even on those days when we really don't, often we'll think we do and feel anxious anyway. Here's why knowing this can help us avoid common anxiety mistakes. Let's paint a picture here. Something in your life feels important, but unlike the day-to-day stuff that sees you focus your attention on a task at hand, take action and get it sorted and move on, for whatever reason, this particular thing isn't easily taken care of. Maybe it's a current challenge, work stress, financial concerns, a relationship issue, or maybe it's rooted in past trauma, unresolved issues, or early life experiences that have left you feeling vulnerable in the long term. Whatever the case, anxiety starts to rise when we feel like we're juggling something crucial that's not easily controlled or resolved. As time goes on, anxiety about this thing increases as our mind becomes concerned that nothing is changing. And maybe the day-to-day things are also suffering because we're at a low mental and emotional capacity due to this ongoing situation. At some point, we might start to make that common mistake of feeling anxious about our anxiety itself. It becomes a meta experience, anxiety about being anxious. It's called the second fear. And that's when anxiety becomes the most important thing in our lives. We worry it will stop us from being happy or even safe, creating a vicious cycle, a feedback loop of anxiety. This is why people often feel stuck in their anxiety. They feel like they're caught in a loop, unable to break free. But here's the key. It all stems from importance. Your mind flags something as important and uses anxiety to make you focus on it. But the good news is that from there, what happens is up to you. It all depends on your chosen perspective. Do you see that anxiety as a problem and continue to get anxious about feeling ever more anxious? Or can you recognize that feeling anxious is healthy and normal? If you can shift your perception and see anxiety as a natural part of life, a signal that something is important, you can start to break the feedback loop. The simple fact here is that no matter what your own origin story is, I know one thing about it, and that's that you're not broken. Feeling anxious doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're human and your mind is doing pretty much what it's meant to do. That simple truth means you don't have to let those thoughts and feelings run your life. So the next time anxiety creeps in, remember, it's a signal, not a threat. You have the power to change how you respond to that signal. One thing worth mentioning, don't be afraid to reach out for help if you feel you need it. Whether it's therapy, talking to a trusted friend, or simply taking steps to better understand yourself, there are so many ways to address anxiety. You've made it through every challenge you've faced so far, and you can get through this one too. You've got this. And sometimes we all just need reminding of that. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more anxiety content that helps put you back in control. And if you want more tips on overcoming anxiety, check out the members area of the channel, where you'll find more resources to help you on your journey, as well as access to a weekly members only live stream, where I answer your anxiety related questions directly. But that's it for now. I'm Tim Box. Always remember, be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.